What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I am one of your hosts, Chris, as always with me.
Just Liam.
And today we're going to be diving into the season finale of Rings of Power on Amazon Prime. Now, I want to give you guys a quick heads up. There will be spoilers ahead. And if you're looking for like true Tolkien history canon, like the lore of it all, go check out Nerd of the Rings. But if you're here to just hear no BS conversation about the episode, hear what we thought was exciting, and maybe some predictions for the future that we may see coming, then stick around. We're about to dive in. And if you stick to the end of this video, you can learn how you can win an awesome prize we're giving away this month for all our subscribers. Ready? Let's go.
Wow, the mighty have fallen.
What an episode. I was sitting there thinking, within the intro, before they even did the actual like the intro part, like with all the moving pebbles and all that, like just Khazad-dûm in the beginning, the Balrog and King Durin, well, former King Durin, that right there, I was like, well, that's how you start a finale. That was
Former
awesome.
King Durin.
Former King Durin, yeah. So let's start there. Let's start with the Balrog. We finally, we got teased multiple times through, like at the end of season 1 and then in season 2, that this Balrog eventually was going to come. I know many people in the comments and other videos are upset because it's too early in the timeline, but I think it was a great addition, and the way they've tied it in to the story itself on Prime has been great. And I thought, whoa, what a great way to deliver that to us.
Is it too early in the timeline though?
Not for Amazon Prime the way they have it set up, but as far as I understand, he's not supposed to emerge and destroy Khazad-dûm just yet.
Well, he's not. He got locked away again.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They did seal him away for now.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was more of, let's just bring him out for the finale and we'll just tease what's coming in the future. But when I saw the little lasso, the whip thing, I was like, lasso of truth.
Well, it was definitely that of course pops into mind, but it was definitely a throwback to the Gandalf and Balrog fight, which is the exact same Balrog that Gandalf then eventually defeats many years later. He whips his leg, pulls him down, the same kind of thing. I almost thought they were going to do the same thing where he pulls him off the cliff and then like fights him as they fall, but no, it wasn't. It was still awesome.
It was very cool. I think the reason I thought like Lasso of Truth, not only because we watch the other superhero type stuff, like DC and stuff like that, but it was when he finally got through to his father, the king.
Yes. Great part.
Yes, but only to be gone like 30 seconds later.
Well, I think that was the point, right? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what a cool way. You think he's going to go down there and fight his dad, and then he's like, I'm not strong enough to fight you. Like, he tries to reason with his heart. Doesn't work. Obviously, Balrog scares him enough that he takes the ring off. And then that moment where he was like, I didn't let you win. You were just getting stronger. And like calls him king, and then freaking just jumps like. It reminded me of that scene from Reign of Fire. Do you remember that movie with Christian Bale with all the dragons taking over? I think it was.
That was a really good movie.
I thought so too.
Matthew McConaughey played an awesome villain.
Yeah. Was it Matthew McConaughey who jumps off with the axe and like jumps into the mouth? That's the scene I'm thinking of towards the end.
Might have been.
Right. Anyway, we'll go off tangent on that, but yeah, what an excellent opening, and what a great way to set up the finale. And then we finally get like I guess civil war, I would call that, of Númenor, where Sauron's, he touched the Palpatine. I think I'm saying that right. If not, let me know in the comments. And then Sauron looks at him, and from that point on, Sauron's got his fingers in him. He's puppet master now. Which is kind of like the theme of most of this episode, is Sauron's like really showing up as the puppet master, like more than just he was with Celebrimbor. Like he's in control of like a lot of different factions towards the end of this episode. So I thought that was kind of interesting that now he's got Pharazôn, who's the king of Númenor, acting king of Númenor, so paranoid and so deranged that this army is coming to attack him that he's killing his own people. He's doing exactly what Sauron wanted in the first place. That was kind of crazy.
I agree. I'm getting really nasty vibes about what's going on in Númenor with that stuff. I did not like that. It made me feel very uncomfortable because it's almost like mirroring some things that could possibly happen in society.
Yeah, it's a scary thought, for sure.
So that's why it made me super icky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to keep it, if you want to bring it to reality and not keep it in fantasy, then yeah, that could definitely raise some goosebumps on you and make you want to, get sick to your stomach. We would never want that for our people, for sure. But, inside of this fantasy realm that we're talking about, the Númenor itself will fall, right? It's been predicted. It will be returned to the ocean, basically. And so it's going to happen. And the way that they're doing it, I think, because eventually, as far as I understand, again, let us know in the comments what you guys know, Sauron eventually does come to Númenor, and Númenor falls. And then he's like, destroys it. I think either Pharazôn or someone from Númenor will end up becoming one of the 9, one of the Nazgûl.
You think so?
I do.
I think it's going to be the king.
Probably Pharazôn, yeah. Just the way he's being corrupted, he's already being manipulated, he already wants power. I think he'll give him a ring, and then obviously it'll elongate his life, and because of that, he'll wither into the other world, the other realm, and he will become an Nazgûl.
Not the prince that's a complete dick.
So I think he will also become a servant of Sauron, but I think he'll become something separate. I think he'll become the mouth of Sauron, which is a completely different, evil entity that works for Sauron.
Okay, I guess I could see that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the beginning of that. So then you have...
Really makes sense. Sorry, I'm playing it through my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, yep, that really definitely makes sense. And it's making me want to re-watch the other movies.
Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Like the actual trilogy? Get the extended version, just sit down for hours and just binge it out.
Goodbye weekend.
Yeah, right.
It's making me want to re-watch those just to see all the pieces after the additional knowledge that we have based on the show, which is kind of becoming canon anyway.
Yep.
So
I actually just, because I'll be traveling for the next 2 weeks, I downloaded Lord of the Rings, the audiobook. And I also have the Silmarillion, so I'll go back through both. Well, I haven't, I've not actually read the Lord of the Rings ever. I've watched the movies. I have read the Silmarillion before, so I'll go back through that, and then I'll read the Lord of the Rings for the first time.
Oh.
I've only ever watched the movies.
That's crazy.
The Hobbit, it's crazy, right? Because The Hobbit was the first fantasy book that brought me into this realm. I've read that 4 times, but I've never actually read Lord of the Rings. I switched from the Tolkien verse to the Dragon Land series, and just fell in love with that. And I started reading I was 9 volumes, something like that, into that instead.
All right, because I read those before the movies even came out.
So you knew about Tom Bombadil and all of this stuff. See, I didn't know who he was until much later, because I didn't he doesn't exist in the Peter Jackson version.
But because so many years have passed, I completely forgot about him.
Yeah.
So kind of the movies took over as what I remembered was in the book, because it's been so long. Memories are fallible, right?
Oh yes.
So, but Adar, I was pleased and then ultimately disappointed the moment he was killed.
It was
pleased that he came back to the logical self. Is all right, I'm doing shit wrong right now. And then he took off the ring, gave it to Galadriel.
Well, I think the ring is what cured him, right?
Yeah.
Because the ring even cured his body, not just his mind.
And how quickly that came back.
Right. And so I think ultimately once he put that ring on, not only did he return to his elf self, which was really cool to see, and then obviously the creeping back in was really cool to see too, but I think what it did was it allowed him to start thinking clearly, more like an elf, less like an orc. And he was just he was able to come to a place of peace and be okay, let's partner up, let's end this thing, let's just be done.
Well, tie that back to personal development, right? We all go back to different states. When you have a trauma that you've faced a million times and something reminds you of it and triggers you, you are not in your current place. You are in that past place where you were before when the trauma was first enacted, right? So think of it on the flip side. Where he is right now, when he was cured, was, like you were saying, he was an elf again.
Yeah.
So that's right where it brought him to. This is what we know about. But for me, that was really cool to see. I was like, oh, why did they make him an elf again? And then they explained it real quick after. So, but I thought it was a lot of fun. That they could have did a little bit more with that instead of 30 seconds, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I understand there's only so much time per episode that they can do. They got to pick and choose the things that are going to move everything forward. And I just enjoyed that aspect. Hated that it was one of his most loyal orc or whatever. Uruk. Whatever. Hated that it was one of his most loyal ones that betrayed him.
Yeah. Well, that's like we were saying earlier with the puppet master Satan over here, Mr. Sauron, who's just able to think he makes you believe you're getting exactly what you want, but in the end you're really just getting shafted is what you're getting.
You only get what you want as long as it's serving his ends.
Yeah. Which, on the topic of Sauron, it was actually kind of like cool to see him fight. I thought Galadriel had a much, how can I word it? I believe Galadriel did way better in that fight with basically a demigod than I ever thought she would. Without a ring, without any special ability. Oh, no, she was wearing the ring. Okay, never mind. I didn't think she had the ring at that point. So she had the ring of power, which definitely helped her. But yeah, she held her own against him for a minute, and then he stabs her with the crown. But I thought that was a pretty cool fight scene. What do you think?
I did too, and I knew the moment when she had the ring in her hand when she fell off the cliff, that was the only reason she was going to survive that fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was super cool. That leads us all the way up to Elrond.
Elrond, yep.
Actually putting the fucking ring on.
To save Galadriel, yep.
Which they foreshadowed. Oh, I'd never do that. Never.
Well, in Lord of the Rings, he's one of the ring bearers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you meet Elrond especially in the Peter Jackson films, he's wearing one of the rings. And he actually does the same thing they do in this episode, which is heal them from a dark wound. So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, oh, that's where he learned to do it.
He got it from her.
He's going to help Frodo with that later. Yeah, so that was absolutely cool that they found her, that they saved her. I like the ending too with the elves, the way that we'll get there, but I like the way that it ended. Basically, they founded Rivendell, right? They're in the sanctuary of Rivendell. They have all 3 rings, and they're coming together as a source of power to fight against Sauron. So it was like the elves didn't necessarily, they lost Eregion, but they also just founded Rivendell, and now they're coming together as a unified force to go fight Sauron. So they did take a big L, but they also, I think, at the end kind of came together strong.
Lost the battle, not the war.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And yes, that's super exciting for where they're going with it. But fuck them for making us have to wait some more.
I mean, they got to stretch it out, right? They got to have more seasons, which I'm happy about. I mean, the production's been great, the stories have been great, the acting's been great, the special effects have been great. So yeah, stretch it out a little bit more, throw some things in there that's going to make us ooh, ah, or have a debate about it. And yeah, just keep it coming because I like it.
And they finally just said, fuck it, yep, you're Gandalf.
Yes, yes. And that was a twist that I didn't see coming with the Dark Wizard. I think he's Saruman now. 100% I believe he's Sauron, because he has good intentions still.
Yes.
But he has an evil side to him. He's not afraid to hurt, kill, do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
And that will directly correlate later on when he turns and helps Sauron. But right now,
So Barbara was right.
I think he's Saruman. I think that Gandalf, becoming Gandalf, will unite with him eventually. They will form the council of that. But he's always going to be that good but almost anti-hero character.
Yeah.
Right? And now, because of neither of them had names, one was a dark wizard, one was a stranger. Now that he's Gandalf, I will put money down that the other one is going to be Saruman. Especially when he said, "You were the one who convinced me to come. We were old friends back when we were in Valar."
That's what Valar said at the beginning, and you're like, "No, it can't be." You talked me out of it.
Well, I stand corrected. I will eat the crow, and now I'm on board with you guys. I believe that dark wizard is Saruman.
Nice. All right. That was super freaking cool, though.
Yeah, there was one last thing that happened towards the end that I'm trying. Oh, the dwarves come to the aid.
Yes.
And save basically the elves from just getting destroyed in Eregion. And then that was really cool to see.
It was. It made my heart flutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got me a little choked up when I saw the dwarf. And then he called him by name. He's like, no, he's mourning.
Durin.
Yeah.
He said Durin to him, and he's like, no, Durin's not here. He's mourning. Yeah. Because that was the main miner guy. Forget his name. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the top chiefs inside of that clan of dwarf.
One of the most loyal servants to the king.
Yeah, he was the one who was and was basically like, we're gonna join forces with you to the sun. Yeah, yeah, that guy.
Yep, that was super cool.
No, all in all, I think this was a phenomenal season.
It was.
We got to see all of the rings except for the one ring come into the world. We've gotten to see we got to see Celebrimbor's demise, which paid homage, as far as I understand, to how he goes out in the book, which Sauron turns him into like a banner, basically hangs him like a flag, and he did that exact thing in the freaking series, so they kind of paid homage to that at the same time. And then he also, I I don't know how much I like the idea that they do it, but he would like, they put it like right on the nose. He's like, you are the Lord of the Rings. I was like, oh God, you didn't have to say that. But anyway.
You thought that was too much?
I think it was a little over the top. Yeah, like right on the nose. Like we know who he is. But one thing I think did happen during that conversation is that Celebrimbor mentions to him that you, like, I forget the exact verb, like the exact sentence, but he basically tells him like you're gonna have the one ring of power. He like says something along those lines where it's like you're gonna have the power of the ring or something like that. And for me, in my mind, it triggered. I'm like, you just gave him the idea to create the other ring. He's going to go to Mordor and create it now. Because right now, he has these rings out there that give people power, but he can't control it. You just gave him the idea to control it.
He can influence.
Right. But with the One Ring, he can control them. And so I think Celebrimbor, with his dying breath, basically, gave him the idea to create the One Ring.
Oh, it's his fault.
I mean, let's be honest. A lot of those rings are. He created them, even though Sauron was influencing it. Celebrimbor brought them to life, like brought them into fruition. So yeah,
Awesome.
so I thought it was great. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I just annoyed I just gotta wait, that's all.
yeah.
That's the only thing.
Absolutely.
The waiting.
Well, right on. If you guys really enjoyed this episode, then go ahead and check out this one right here. It's our previous episode on the last what was it, 6 and 7 of Rings of Power. You can check that out here. If maybe not more Rings of Power is not what you want, but you want to check out some other really cool series that we reviewed, we got some right here. Otherwise, just make sure you subscribe. And that's the first step in being able to qualify for our free giveaway this month. Because you stuck all the way to the end, we're going to tell you how you can win a $50 Amazon gift card that you can use for whatever you want. And so one step is you must be subscribed. The second step is in the comments below. Just go ahead and let us know what your favorite part of the movie was, or part of the series was, part of this episode was. Video. There you go. Let us know what the favorite part of this video was below, and make sure you're subscribed. And we'll make sure that you guys are drawn out on the 1st of next month, which would be November 1st. First week of that month, we'll draw you out live, and we'll have a winner for a $50 Amazon gift card. We really appreciate you guys subscribing to us. We've been growing rapidly, and it's been really awesome to see. So thank you. We'll see you guys on one of these episodes.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.